on-field QB on Sundays, but an astronaut, fighter jet pilot, and an aerospace engineer the rest of the week? How does a person remember play calls like this for several different teams?
Fullback west, right, zoom. Fullback left, pass halfback at 0, Z quick screen left, on 1, break.
Then remembers things like this.
What's the smartest thing I know? So I used to know up to 120 digits of pi.
3.14159265 264 338 327 937 640 288 41.
Is Josh Dobbs even human? Let's find out the truth about him. Scrambling out of the pocket, making defenders miss on Sundays is something he's been doing since his high school days.
Dobbs is going to run it now. He's off to the races. Inside a spin move at the 12. Breaks another tackle. He's going to score!
How about
touchdown,
that?
Alpharetta!
This year, Josh has been taking off, displaying his skills on the field. But this all started 23 years ago when a 5-year-old little boy was accidentally signed up to play tackle football. Josh is the only child in his family and is the first to dive into athletics.
I ended up playing tackle football by accident. So she put me on the wait list for football, thinking that would be like flag or something. So my dad takes me over to the gear shop, and he's thinking, okay, he's just gonna get like a flag, some shirt, some shorts.
And they started handing out helmets, shoulder pads, and everything. The 5-year-old kids were playing tackle football.
So we get out there, and we're out there playing tackle football, just little bobbleheads running around at 5 years old. At 6, I began playing quarterback, and I kind of have played quarterback ever since. So I got signed up for tackle football by accident.
I remember we won the championship that year. So that was first year. It was definitely, a highlight of my career.
As a kid, his parents put him in about every sport and extracurricular activities. He even tried singing.
I was in chorus. I've learned I couldn't sing, but I was in chorus.
Oh yeah? You can sing, huh?
I can't sing. Cannot sing. Cannot sing. So don't put me on
But you
the spot.
took chorus to find out.
To find out, right. So
Quickly fell in love with the busy schedule and the activities that fulfilled his time. Being the only child wasn't lonely for him. He met and made many friends in each thing that he did. But once he reached the 3rd grade, he noticed he started to look different than his peers and his teammates. One morning before school, he woke up with a small bald spot on his head. His parents were worried and quickly took him to the dermatologist to figure out what was going on. And he was later diagnosed with
alopecia areata.
Alopecia areata.
Alopecia areata.
I have alopecia areata.
Alopecia, it's one of the most devastating diagnoses that I give to patients. I've had many tears shed in my office.
The type that Josh has, areata, is an autoimmune disease that causes the body's immune system to mistakenly attack healthy hair follicles.
It's just a hairless spot on top of my head. You really couldn't see it unless you held a mirror, looked into another mirror, and it just took a lot of effort to really see it. And at the time, my hair was still long enough that I could just brush it over.
At that time, we started the typical treatments. There were topical creams, cortisone shots, and my hair grew back. And then from there, once I got to high school, my hair became patchy again, my hairline began to recede, and actually, by the end of high school, I lost all my eyebrows and eyelashes. By the end of college, when my hairline continued to recede, hair kept getting more and more patchy, I just eventually shaved my hair off. I've been bald ever since.
accepting his new normal. He didn't let his condition affect his academics and sports life. Once he got to Alpharetta High School in Alpharetta, Georgia, a small city about 30 minutes away from Atlanta, he was juggling 3 sports his freshman year: basketball, baseball, and football, but quit basketball a year later to solely focus on the 2 he'd been playing since he was 4 and 5 years old. Once he became the starting QB his junior season, he turned the program around from barely any wins the years prior and started having winning record seasons. He used his skills from the baseball diamond to help him with his arm and accuracy on the football field.
Our biggest recommendation and advice is for any high schooler, middle schooler, whatever it is, to play as many sports as you can for as long as possible. By playing other sports, you're able to develop into the ultimate athlete.
Making the lone setback with Dobbs. Quarterback draw. Dobbs is loose down the center. Carrying tacklers toward the goal line. He reaches across. Step up into space, spins out of trouble, still spinning out of trouble, taking a hit, still spinning out of trouble, now he's loose on the sideline, down
Standing at 6'3", about $190, he was an absolute monster, slinging passes sideline to sideline or 50-plus yards down the field. In week 4 of his senior year, he threw for 512 yards and 5 touchdowns. But those amazing stats wasn't enough for his team, as they lost in a tough battle 63-42. 5 passing touchdowns a game was easy to him, as he had a few of them that season. By the end of his senior year, he threw for 3,600 yards, 29 touchdowns, and only 11 interceptions. He ran for 419 on the ground and 10 touchdowns. But for his passing yards that year in 2012, he was ranked pretty high. 46th in the nation, 2nd in Georgia, 1st in the division, 1st in the region, and 2nd in Georgia High School Association. And just guess who he fell 2nd to in Georgia, the guy he backed up in Cleveland for a brief period of time. Josh was a sleeper recruit because coaches didn't want to take the risk on him because of his expressed love for baseball. Every year before football season started,
The week before football season every year, me and the family, we would take a trip to Stanford to go to their yearly baseball camp right at the beginning of football season, just because we knew that's what I wanted to do. So we'll go out there, end up receiving a baseball offer from Stanford.
So it wasn't until he finally made his decision on which sport he was going to continue playing in college.
Even though I love baseball, and even though I said Stanford was my dream school, I said if I wake up every single Saturday at my dream school and I'm not playing football, I'm not playing quarterback of that university, I'll be pretty upset. So that kind of told me, hey, football is what you need to pursue in college.
In early 2013, just a couple months after being hired by Tennessee, then head coach Butch Jones managed to flip Dobbs from Arizona State just before signing day.
So for those of you who don't know, I was committed to Arizona State for 8 months. And this was back when signing days were in February. So I had the cliche story of decommitting the day before signing day and going to Tennessee, which Norvell was the OC at that time, and I really was looking forward to playing for him. We spent a lot of time together throughout the recruitment process. When I ended up going on my official visit to Tennessee, and I just really loved it. It was obviously geographically closer to home, being from Alpharetta, Georgia, and I had the opportunity to play a little earlier in my career at University of Tennessee than ASU. But they both had tremendous aerospace engineering programs, which was really important to me.
Us who've played a sport while in school heard 2 specific words thousands of times. Can you guess what they are? The first one starts with an S, the second an A. Yes, student athlete, which is something Josh took seriously. You heard what he said.
But they both had tremendous aerospace engineering programs, which was really important to me.
His parents let it be known at a young age that school came first.
I grew up an only child, so quickly at an early age, they kind of taught me, one, obviously excel in the classroom. That comes first. My parents, instilled in me early that yes, love sports, yes, enjoy your time, yes, maximize your time on the field, but school comes first.
He wasn't only worried about playing early, but took interest in the aerospace programs ASU and Tennessee offered. Choosing aerospace engineering, a 5-year degree, completing it in 4 years was not easy at all, but he set a goal and planned to reach it.
What I wanted to go into, and then aerospace, my love of aviation that I had, throughout middle school, elementary school, aviation and aerospace engineering would be, the ideal major for me.
SEC quarterback, starting quarterback
Yes,
for the Tennessee Volunteers.
In 4 years to be able to do both of those things and do them well.
And at the same time in the aerospace engineering school. Like, how did you do that?
How in the world did you do that?
I knew going to college what I went to accomplish. I knew that if I went to accomplish a 5-year degree path in 4 years and then also be successful in the field, I would have to have a plan in place and have to go in prepared and proactive to accomplish my goals and my dreams. I'll be a fool to one say that I did it by myself, because Tennessee gave us a great framework when we got to school with different study halls and giving us different tutors and mentors that are in our field, so we're able to learn and learn the way of the land. Wake up 7 to 8, breakfast, go to class. You're at class 8 to 9 till 2 o'clock. Then meetings are from 2 to 4. The trick was you leave class around 1:55, sprinting across campus, eating lunch as you're going across campus. When I was in school, I had everything. I had the hoverboard 1 year, I had the scooter 1 year, I had the Razor scooter, kick pushing across campus. So I had all different means of travel to get to practice as quickly as I can. Practice from 4 to 6. Then post-practice, you have your lift, you have treatment, you got to get your dinner, and then you go to study hall. Study hall is about 8 to 10, and then from there it's, You probably still have more homework after study hall. I closed down the library just about every single day of my college career, but then you wake up and repeat process the next day, and you have to eat throughout the day.
That was pretty much his schedule for 4 years straight, but it didn't stop there. One semester while at Tennessee, Dobbs met with his professor each morning because the class was at 3 p.m., which was the same time as practice. He once had to make a 3-hour road trip immediately after practice to go speak at a Boy Scouts of America banquet. One of the team's academic advisors drove Dobbs as he sat in the back and typed away on his computer. He changed in the back seat, and once he went in, he spoke and killed it. He then slept in the car on a 3-hour drive back so he could attend class the next morning. Dude's dedication was top tier. On the field, he slowly worked his way into the lineup as some injuries occurred through his freshman season.
A new face will get the start at quarterback for Tennessee. Josh Dobbs took reps with the first team yesterday and today.
He started 4 games as a true freshman and 5 games as a sophomore before taking over as Tennessee's full-time starter his junior and senior seasons, performing at a high level. During his 4 years in the orange and white, he completed 61.5% of his passes for 7,100 yards and 87 touchdowns. He led the team to a 9-4 record in back-to-back seasons, setting several school records along the way.
Biggest surprise of this SEC season for you?
You know, obviously a lot of people are going to talk about South Carolina and Florida, but for me it was Joshua Dobbs. That's a dude that stepped in and changed the team.
And he did it. He graduated in 2017 with a perfect 4.0 GPA. Yeah, I don't think you heard me. A 4.0 GPA in college, majoring in aerospace engineering while being the starting QB for a SEC school is just unheard of.
I think about what I went through in college, and I'm like, there's no way in hell that I could have played a sport. So I don't know how you did it, man.
It was intense.
He won the highest honor award for an undergrad student.
Dobbs is, everybody says that he's super smart, right? So with his smarts, comes a confidence about him.
With the career and numbers he put up at Tennessee, I don't know how, but the majority of NFL draft experts and analysts projected him to be a 4th or 5th round pick.
The critics have said Dobbs' passion for building airplanes is bigger than playing football, that his arm strength is not strong enough.
After his pro day at Tennessee, he worked out for 6 different teams: the Chiefs, Titans, Panthers, Chargers, Steelers, and the Saints. They say Josh is the Ryan Fitzpatrick of this new generation, which is true. We're about to dissect his career up until this point. It has been a long journey. I'm about to say a lot of dates, so just bear with me. The Steelers were the ones to pick him up in the 2017 draft. As a development option behind Big Ben, Colbert, the former GM, said Dobbs wowed the team with his on-field performance. May 22, 2017, the Steelers signed him to a 4-year, $2.9 million contract with about a $550,000 signing bonus. He finally made his NFL regular season debut a whole season after being drafted, October 7, 2018, but it was only for the final play of the game, which was a negative play in the stat book, a kneel down for a loss of 3 yards in a 41-17 win against the Falcons. After Mason Rudolph won the backup job the following year, on September 9th, 2019, he hit the road and was traded to the Jaguars for a 5th round pick in the 2020 draft. Another year later, September 5th, 2020, he was waived by the Jaguars. A day later, September 6th, 2020, he was claimed off of waivers and re-signed with the Steelers. August 31st, 2021, he was placed on injury reserve. April 9th, 2022, Cleveland signed him to a 1-year, $1 million deal, but cut him 7 months later on November 28th after Deshaun Watson returned from suspension. The Browns asked to bring him back to keep him on the practice squad.
So you opted out of signing back on practice squad with the Browns because you wanted to put it out there like, yo, I'm trying to go play. I'm not trying to be in a four-man room and low-key be at the bottom.
Exactly.
But he felt that joining the Lions practice squad would give him the best chance to succeed long-term.
Like, they tried to trade for me a couple times early in my career, so I was like, I'm gonna go there, check it out, and then shoot, it worked out.
On December 5th, 2022, he signed to the Lions practice squad. At this point, the Astronaut was the one being passed around. About his 2nd or 3rd week with the Lions, during a QB meeting, he got a call from his agent.
Yeah, I think the Titans want to sign you. Could be one of those things where they call and like nothing happens, or it could happen fast, so just keep your phone on you. I was like, all right, bet. They were phone on silent, and then it starts buzzing. So it was my agent calling, said, yeah, they want to sign you. And then Ryan called, and then I walked back in the room and said, yo, I got a flight to catch at 8:15.
No. On December 21st, 2022, he was signed by the Titans off the Lions practice squad. A week later, on December 29th, he was named the starter for the Titans. Week 17 matchup against the Cowboys. He completed 20 of 39 passes for 232 and his first career touchdown pass in a 27-13 loss. He started again in the last game of the season against his old team, the Jaguars. Needing a win to clutch the division, Dobbs completed 20 of 29 passes for 179 yards with a touchdown and an interception. But up by 3 with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, the unfortunate happened next.
Dobbs is hit from behind. They're calling this a fumble at the moment, and the return by Allen for the touchdown.
That scoop and score cost the Titans a playoff spot, losing 20-16. But over that 2-week span, he had a 58.8% completion rate for 411 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 2 lost fumbles. And it was rumored that a Titans coach told Josh after that final game that he was going to be their guy the following season. But their picks in the 2023 draft altered those plans. Right there, he knew he was going to be headed to another team soon. And only 2 teams expressed real interest this offseason: cold Cleveland and hot Arizona. And it's just something about teams wanting him back after already cutting him, because on March 23rd, 2023, he re-signed with Cleveland. But that wouldn't be for long, because 5 months later, during the preseason, on August 24th, he was traded to the Arizona Cardinals. Finally, 7 years later, Josh got the go-ahead and was named the starting QB of Week 1 of the season, as their $230.5 million quarterback was on the IR list. Week 3 of the season, he led the Cardinals to their first win of the season and their first win since Week 10 in 2022. That would be the Cardinals' only win with him as the starter, going 1-7 through 8 games. But trust me, he wasn't the one to be blamed. Through 8 games, he passed for 1,500 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, as well as 258 rushing and 3 rushing touchdowns. Halloween 2023, he was back on the road again. Back to the cold, up to Minnesota. And just 5 days later, on November 5th, against the Atlanta Falcons, he had to be forced into the game after Jaren Hall left the game due to a concussion, not yet taking a single practice rep with the Vikings.
And Dobbs gets out of it. Will keep, and he's going to keep running. Leaping, Dobbs has it. He's throwing, and Atlanta in trouble to Dobbs. He's run for first downs already in this game. He's going to try and outrun the defender, and he gets another first down. Dobbs has a touchdown for the Vikings. He can't run this for 2. The throw is caught. He gets away from the moment, but look out from behind. He's going to get the first down. He's going to get more than that. And 4. Time. Catch. Brandon Powell, touchdown Vikings. And a lot on the line with uncertainty at quarterback.
On his 7th team, 7 years later, Josh is showcasing why he should be one of the 32 quarterbacks that plays on Sundays, Mondays, or Thursdays. The Astronaut has been passed around more than that one girl you know at school. Hopefully, he can finally call Minnesota home. During the offseason, Josh isn't resting on the island like most NFL players after a long season. His brain is still being used to its full potential, as he is putting his aerospace engineering degree to use.
I'm also an aerospace engineer, aka rocket scientist. So for the past 2 weeks, I've been interning here at NASA, here at Kennedy Space Center.
Here at Huntsville, NASA repping at Space Camp. So we're setting up day 1. We're heading over, learning about space, and we'll keep you posted with how the weekend goes.
Today we're in Waco, Texas, and we are flying with the Thunderbirds. How are you doing? Hello.
I'm going to do northbound 17 right and then on Alpha.
Josh Dobbs, man, a true inspiration.